Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Now in today's video I am going to be sharing with you guys how I tried to recreate this dress as seen in the picture, and the video is what I came up with. So if you're interested in learning how to go about this, keep on watching and let's get started. So guys, in my last video I shared with you guys how to draft all this pattern. So if you're yet to see that, the link is going to be in my description box. So this is the sleeve and the band for the sleeve. Here I cut out two for the two sleeves, okay? And now these ones here are the front patterns. We have the yoke for the front and also the basque area for the front. Like I said before, go ahead and check the pattern drafting tutorial. That part of video is already up on my channel. So this is the two parts. We are going to be making gathers on the yoke to make it fit into the waist area, and then this is the back pattern as you have already seen here. So now we're going to start by working on the front patterns. I cut out 4 pieces here, 2 for each side. Okay, so I'm going to be using these exact fabrics to line them up, so you understand what I'm doing right now. So now this is the yoke. Like I said, I cut out 4 pieces, so 2 for each side. So these 2 here will be for one side, and then this other 2 is going to be for the other side, so it will serve as actual fabric and lining. So I'm going to go ahead and make a stitch around the neckline here and do the same thing on this side, and also stitch down the sides. Now for the waist part, I also cut out 4 pieces for this. So these 2 here is just for one side. So now I'm going to go ahead and stitch down this curved area, and I'll also stitch down the straight part on the other side here. So let's go ahead and stitch them down. So guys, I've stitched down the both parts. These are the waist areas. I stitched it down here and here, so 2 pieces together here. So we have the zipper allowance in the middle here, and also did the same thing for the other side as well. You can see I doubled it up, one serving as the lining and the other as the actual fabric. So guys, for the cut pieces, I've also gone ahead to stitch them down. You can see that each layer is doubled. I stitched the neckline and stitched it down to this extent here. You can also stitch down the side as well. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do on the sewing machine is to make a gather stitch around the curved area here, so that I can make gathers here to join the cut part to the brown part of this fabric. So once I'm through with that, I am going to head over to the sewing machine and also stitch down my darts on the basque area. Remember that this space in front is the zipper allowance, so we have the dart here. So you can use your pattern paper to mark the area where the dart is supposed to be and just carry it up like I'm doing here. So you need to go ahead and stitch down your darts like this, or you can actually use your tape rule to measure it out. So I'm going to head over and stitch the darts on these 2 pieces. So I've stitched down the darts and I've gone ahead to iron it out. I stitched it on the inside. Okay, so this is the back, and here you can see how it looks in front. So we'll leave this aside, and for the cup side, I told you guys I was going to make a stitch here. I decided to use black so that you guys can actually see it. So this is a gather stitch, so I'm just going to pick on one of the top threads and then pull on it to give me my gathers. So I'm going to make the gathers until it fits into the space on the waist area where I want to put it. So you can see it's almost exactly the same measurement now. I will just pull on it a little bit more and make sure that my gathers are in the middle of this cup. Okay, so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is to spread this gather out in the middle to make sure that it's in the middle. And now I'm sure everything is set and I like how it looks. I'm going to turn it to the wrong side and place it on my waist area like this. So just watch what I'm doing right now and do exactly the same thing. I'm just pinning it down, and I'll go over to the sewing machine to stitch down these areas I just pinned down. So I'll just stitch it down here and do the same thing for these other 2 pieces as well. So guys, now I'm done stitching down the both parts. I've also gone ahead to weave all the rough edges around on the side and also where I just stitched down. So this is what it looks like. Remember, there's going to be zipper allowance in the middle. There's actually zipper allowance in the middle. So yeah, let's leave this aside and work on the back pieces for now. Now for the back piece, I only cut out 1 piece. I did not cut out another piece as lining, but if you want to line your back, you might want to cut out 2 pieces for this. Now what I'm going to do now is we are going to work on the neckline, and for the neckline I already cut out a facing. Now my facing is definitely the same exact measurement as what I have around my neckline, and it's about 2 inches wide. I already secured the ends of the facing, as you can see here, so I'm just going to face it on the neckline like this and just go ahead and stitch down the neckline, then make a top stitch towards the facing and iron it out. So guys, I am done stitching it around. As you can see here, I used my hemi gun to just make it strong here for now, but I'll be using my hand to stitch it around later. I've also gone ahead to stitch the dart areas of the back, as you can see. So now the next thing is to join the front pieces to the back piece on the shoulder. So you can see how I'm placing it here. I'll just also place the other front piece like this, right sides facing each other, and I'm going to go ahead and place the shoulders together. You guys know that this is how I always do my shoulders. I use one of the lining piece to cover up every other piece, and I'm just going to go ahead and pin this down and then stitch down this area on the sewing machine. Now this particular part, when I was doing it, it was off the camera, so I will use the other one to explain it better for you guys. So guys, I am done pinning this down now. I'll just stitch it down here. Now let's use the other ones to explain it better. So this is it, right? I am going to just pick one of the pieces, use it to cover up every other piece like this. Can you see what I'm doing here? This makes your stitch look very neat at the shoulder. So just go ahead and pin this down, and then once you're done pinning it down, you just head over to the sewing machine and make a stitch here with about 1/2 inch. So guys, as you can see, I've joined the shoulders, and this is how far we've come. Now we're going to be working on the ruffles to finish up the front very soon. So now to go about this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to measure what I have from here down to this place. Now it's best to do this using the pattern papers that we already drafted before. Hope you've not thrown away yours. So I'm going to arrange the basque area of the waist. I will just arrange the front and back waist exactly like I'm doing like this. So the excess that I am going to have on the back pattern, I'm just going to cut it out using the basque area in front as a template. So you see what I'm doing right here. So just go ahead and cut it out. That's just basically what you need. So every other part now is useless. So we're going to slash and spread this out because we need it to be able to make gathers. So I'm not using any special measurement here. I'm just making straight lines on this pattern, and I decided to label them 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'll go ahead and cut through the lines I have here, and I will spread this on my fabric when I'm about to cut it out. So guys, now I'll go ahead and place this piece on my fabrics. I will spread them out as I place them. So I went ahead to fold my fabric into 2 for the 2 sides of the front part where we are going to be placing it, and I've pinned each piece on it. Now the distance between each piece is 3.5, and down here I left about 1 inch for us to be able to fold it up at the end here. So I also left 1.5 inch on the side for us to be able to stitch this down. That's stitching allowance for the side. So just like these pieces are slanted like this, I'm just going to cut through like a slant line like this. Just watch what I'm doing and do exactly the same thing. So just like I've cut it out now, this might be a little bit longer than where it's supposed to be placed in. So when you're done stitching the dress and everything, that's when you will now cut off the excesses. So guys, I'll go ahead and remove all the pins now and then show you guys how to join these to the front piece. So guys, this is our piece. I have 2 pieces here actually, one for each side of the front. Okay, so now these are the 2 of them. So the shorter part is going to go towards the center of our blouse. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is on the sewing machine, I'm going to place this shorter part on this part like this, and I'm going to be pleating this into this curved area as I sew. So guys, I am done stitching it down. You can see how I made my tiny pleats here. So this is what the front is looking like right now. So you can see the both parts here. So this is what yours is going to look like. Now the next area we're going to be working on is going to be the zipper for the front. So we're going to be placing a zipper here. In the beginning of this video, when I was drafting the pattern, I showed you guys that I was going to be using this black zipper, and this is a zipper that opens into two. So this is what I'm going to be using here. So I'm going to go over to the sewing machine now, and I will stitch this zipper all the way until it gets to the end. Now I am going to leave these aside now, and we are going to also work on the sleeve. Remember that we drafted this, we spread out this sleeve. I actually showed this cutting part of the sleeve as well in the pattern drafting tutorial, so you really need to see that video. So I have two pieces here for my two sleeves. This is one of them. Now for the band, we are going to be using the brown piece. I folded it up to cut it out. Okay, so now I'm going to open up my piece here, and it's either you're going to make pleats around this area or you make gathers to fit into the band. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and do the same thing for the other side. So on the sewing machine, I decided to make gathers instead of using pleats here, but you can totally use pleats here if you want to. So I'm done stitching down the sleeve, and now for the body part, I have also gone ahead to fix the zipper I said I was going to fix. So you can see the zipper stopped somewhere here, just like we see in the picture that we are trying to follow. Okay, I've already fixed one of the sleeves. So the next thing now is for me to go ahead and fix the second sleeve to this other side, and then I will head over and stitch down the sides. Now when you're stitching down the sides, you will have to actually take your body measurements on these areas before stitching it down. So guys, I am done stitching down the sides, as you can see, on both sides, and of course I also went ahead to hem around the ends. So my dress actually came out a little bit shorter than the model that I saw. Now if you want yours to be longer, you need to add more inches. And for the back is actually just very straight. It's just the fronts that have all the designs. So this is the final look of our dress. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you find this video helpful. If you're still here to subscribe to us, please hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, and please let me know what you think about this particular recreation in the comment section.